I'm sad and a little bit chilly today. Of course, as I've mentioned a few times, for those who follow me from out of state, I'm in Pittsburgh, and that's the city where we just had a massacre in a synagogue. I finally got the list of names, and I don't personally know anyone, but I personally know people that were very close with those who were lost, and it's upsetting. I'm out in the garden, and I guess I'll do a video anyway, because this is kind of how I'm trying to take care of my feelings. But, if anybody needs anything, let me know. Let's take a look around. I've had a couple of hard frosts, and I'm always fascinated with how a hard frost interacts with my garden, especially with some new plants around. I think this is frost damage. Although it's possible it might also just be going ripe only on top. It's hard to say. I would have thought that these plants would have taken the frost a lot harder, because they're native to Central America, where it's a lot warmer. But no, they're doing okay. Fascinating. Got the smaller ones over here. I swear these ones got more sun and ended up smaller, so I guess this is a good place for the amaranth. Still a lot of green. It looks like the tomatoes finally quit. A lot of times, because I've been seeing like the memories on Facebook thing, a lot of times it's been 80 degrees or something on this day. It is October what, 28th? It's Sunday of 2018. And I keep seeing like memories of me going kayaking on this day, or like being out in the warmth and stuff. October is just, it's anybody's guess what the weather's going to do during October. So that's what we got here, I guess. My the cherry tree that I cut down is accumulating a nice collection of shelf mushrooms. I don't know what type, but I did get a book, so maybe I can learn what type. It does not look like this is going to heal. That's a bummer. So, very likely that I'm going to have to cut that just below the damage point. I made a boo-boo, but I'm not going to cut it until it's the right time of year to do so, which is after it's dropped all its leaves, because that is a major incision into a plant. It's going to be a really short, bushy plum tree. Like, wow. I'm pretty sure that this is not a safe edible. It's it is American lettuce, but American native lettuce, the best I can figure, but the things that I'm showing say that you can't eat much. It's mainly a medicinal yada yada, so I'm probably gonna try and avoid letting it go to seed. The parsnip seedlings will overwinter just fine. There's no worries there. I might have full-size parsnips in the spring, or I might have to wait till fall. That I forget. it would be about the right time to dig up pretty soon, maybe November, to go ahead and dig up the sunchokes here. At the point at which I do so, I believe I will go ahead and order some different varieties of them so that I can get a little bit more biodiversity here, because they've continued to find more varieties. Obviously, these were bred to be various different kinds of food. It just happens that the industry that sells root crops, such as this, found the Stampede variety first, which is a very knobbed, gnarly shape, soft, and definitely needs to be cooked more so than some of the other varieties that they've discovered since. So I'd like to get like just a mix of all different in there, so that when I dig it up I get a few different kinds. Let's see. If I do it right, I should end up with a yostaberry in the spring. And then I'll be able to take care of this. Now, I've tried tarping off these plants before, and they don't go. They don't leave. So it's a major digging project to get that almost yostaberry. I'm gonna call it. It ended up with none of the thorns, but a very aggressively spreading growth habit to the point where it is invasive. So it doesn't disperse like by seed. I've never seen it seed, but it easily can take over. I mean, like, I have to dig back about 4 or 5 feet of this plant every year in order to keep it contained. So it is an aggressive little beastie. It tends to spread 5 foot yearly, so you can see how quickly it would take over. It's a unique varietal because it was eliminated while they were developing towards the yostaberry. This is a cross between a blackcurrant and a gooseberry that was not selected to continue. I just happened to order it when it was the thing that was available. So, that's what that is. The asparagus is still green despite all the frost. And of course, so is the rhubarb. There's quite a bit of good rhubarb here I could actually harvest. My pile of twigs is still there. I'm really fascinated by the color pattern on those. Amaranth. I've been using the weeding hoe, the stirrup hoe, to take care of all of the weeds along the back there. Looks like I need to do that again soon. And then I did trim back several, definitely not all, but several seed pods from the Rosa Sharon hedge. It's aggressively dispersive, so it would take over acres at a time if left to its own devices, and has in this climate. It's Asian continent native. So my pot in pot is doing well, and my plan for today is to brick enclose this and get it ready to be a winter nursery, because I have several seeds that need stratification. And for proper stratification, the seeds need to be protected from getting eaten during the wintertime. So I'm going to go ahead and plant out. Hopefully I'll get through to the point where I'm planting out today as well. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah. Not a whole lot more going on. You saw the current state of, yikes, my little friend is grabbing me here. That's the hops seedling. I might find out gender next year on these, at least 2 out of 3. Yeah, I've been pulling this back. And I'm gonna have to dig up the alliums because they're just not dying. And everything over here is like that. So, but at least I got rid of the really invasive things around here. And I'm just gonna have to dig a lot. It's not gonna allow me to have the walking compatible, like, compacted soil that I enjoy having as a lawn area. So I'm probably going to have to just keep saving boxes so that I don't sink in and get covered in mud with every single step. Whoops, one of the boxes blew. And then I can convert this at my leisure without a ton of weeding and without sinking into the mud all the time. But conversely to that, tilling the soil in and only recompacting it in some areas may allow it to be more absorbent than this section is, and then I just need to re-angle some of these rocks here so that the water could come along here instead of get pushed up onto the sidewalk. I'm kind of hoping that, you know, I can keep a good bit more of the water on the land rather than put it down into our floodplain every time it rains, as I have been doing without risking the structure, such as this diverter is working quite well, as you can see. Instead of rushing down and onto the porch in torrents, my clay mound is redirecting it that way. And once it makes this turn, it goes along here, along there, and then down, and I believe it makes the right turn because of the sloping there and ends up watering the asparagus. So it's overcast and chilly today, which feels kind of appropriate. The leaves on the opposite hill are starting to turn. Some appear to have just like straight up dropped. It's going to be a shaky image, but what can you do? It's nice having this opening. I'd like to continue with the cutting things so that my hill is more visibly open again like it used to be. And again, I'm not eliminating the trees, I'm coppicing them. So they're about, well, pollarding technically, because they're about chest high. And for the most part, they'll be fine. I wish there wasn't as much of the useless sumac down this hill. It's like all of these are young sumacs, but they're not like staghorn. They're that tall type with the flaky, papery seeds that are no use. At least they're not poison sumac. I'm gonna sneeze. A couple weeks ago, I forgot to make it for my allergy shot, and I'm working on it. I'm going tomorrow afternoon. So, and this is Pittsburgh. If we take the right angle, this is the Cathedral of Learning, and that is, these two spikes right here are the Catholic Church up the street from there. If you line it up from, so you can see that the Cathedral of Learning is still here. Around here is about where the shooting took place. So, this is Lawrenceville. Yeah. Bummer. So, I hope you all are taking care of yourself. Bye.